The History of Lacrosse, author Frank Grant, all rights reserved, 2018 by Frank Grant, narrator William Logan and Jason Hill. Chapter 1, The History of Lacrosse.
In the early history of all countries, we find their recreations to have been of a rude and barbarous nature. Such were those of Greece when Homer wrote, such were those of Britain when Caesar landed, and such were the amusements of the North American Indians when first witnessed by the early French and English travellers. The character of the game of lacrosse, as originally played, made it midway between a sport and a deadly combat, because of its serious results to limb and life. It was a game which King James would no doubt have anathematized as being meeter for laming than making able the users thereof, and more emphatic would have been his edict if he had played it, for not even the divinity that hedges kings would have saved his royal shins from many a sore and unceremonious whack. Never was there ancient or modern field sport that so effectually tried the endurance and agility and every physical instinct as the original game of lacrosse. The gladiatorial games of the Romans and the bullfights of Spain were severe tests of stamina and skill, but neither the praises of Cicero nor the approval of Pliny can prevent the banishment of amusements deliberately designed for the shedding of blood and the death of at least one of the combatants. It may not be possible for one who has never handled a cross, even though he has witnessed many of the exciting matches of the present day, to conceive of the intensity and vehemence of the old game. But to a player who has tried his mettle against Indian wind and endurance, and experienced the exertion required in the present modified game, it is easier to estimate correctly the magnificent physical condition of the aborigine a century ago, and the unparalleled union of strength, agility, and wind developed by and necessary for the primitive lacrosse. It was not played as a superstitious rite in honour of the Great Spirit. It had none of the religious element of the Grecian games. It was instituted as a pure amusement, and as one of the means of quickening and strengthening the body, and accustoming the young warriors to close combat. It was emphatically a sport, and brought out the very finest physical attributes of the finest made men in the world, the impetuosity and vigour of a wild nature let loose, and compelled its votaries in its intense exercise to stretch every power to the greatest extreme. The hunters and warriors looked and longed for the grand anniversaries, when, through dense forests and in bark
Sample complete. Ready to continue?